Bore da o Dolgella, good morning to you. So, we're 108 kilometres into this 380 kilometre legendary, epic adventure, and we're into day 3. Croeso I ras Cefn y Ddraig. After the excitement and adrenaline of the first 48 hours, the runners were presented with a different challenge on the third day. 65 kilometres and 2,800 metres of climbing, but the first goal was Cader Idris, the seat of the giant Idris, before dropping down onto more runnable terrain with the Cambrian Mountains and then reaching Machynlleth, the original home of the Welsh Parliament and the home of the self-proclaimed last Prince of Wales, Owain Glyndwr. But for many, the highlight, of course, was swapping their trail mix for fresh food before heading out for Plyn Limon Fawr and then to camp, of course. For me, my memories of this day are all about how I struggled with my stomach and fueling issues. So I think the key for many today will be about personal administration and just getting the job done. Noswaith dda I chi a chroeso yn studio ni. Good evening to you all and welcome to our humble studio here in the hub of the runners camp. Now you saw earlier how the day had progressed for many of the runners out there. Let's have a look at how things are progressing at the top of the race. The battle between Max King and Simon Roberts has been a close one, but Max obviously has preferred the more runnable section of the second part of today. He's increased that lead to nearly an hour, but remember, Simon Roberts knows the next part of this race very well. Brecon Beacons, Cardiff, that's his home patch, so you never know what will happen there. Leading the ladies is Jo Meek. She obviously enjoyed that second part as well, enjoying the more runnable section and showing her pace because she's increased her lead over Zoe Murphy. Just under 30 minutes is between them. Zoe did struggle a bit with stomach issues the second part of today. You can never say it's over on the Dragon's Back race. You've got to expect the unexpected. Another thing that we have noticed is that a lot of you are asking about what kit people are carrying. The forums are always full of people asking those type of questions. How heavy are the bags? What do you take with you? Well, we were very lucky to talk to 4th position Jon Shield about that.
Mandatory kit, you need a solid waterproof jacket, which mandatory is 10,000 hydrostatic head, but this is like 20,000 by Montaigne, and it's sort of form fitting as well, so it fits nicely, it doesn't catch the wind. You need a bag to hold it all, so that's a 12 litre pack. You need to be able to carry up to 1.5 litres of water with you at any one time. Poles, and that's something I've fabricated to put on there, just as an easier way to carry them because I don't like wearing a waist belt. Waterproof bag to keep everything in. This top has to be 300 grams as part of the mandatory kit, so it's a nice warm top with a hood as well. I never plan to use that, but that's more like an emergency layer if I had to move slowly or for whatever reason. Again, base layer, hopefully don't have to use it. Usually if I was getting cold when I was moving, I'd probably throw the waterproof on instead. But I used some arm sleeves today. Waterproof bottoms, again they're just a light pair. Some gloves and a couple of plasters, big plasters just in case I had anything. that I needed to stop and take a little bit more time to do. Ideally, sort of the fronts don't really want to be stopping because otherwise it just kills too much time, so it's better to look after your feet before you get on, and that's something I've had to work really hard on because I've had lots of feet issues in the past. Last but not least, I've just got another pack which has got other mandatory kit, which is like a cash card and a bit of cash just in case we get stuck and we need to get back. The map of the route, head torch, I say just carry one of the smaller lighter ones because I don't plan to use it. Lightweight phone as well. I don't use my big smartphone because I prefer something smaller, less bulky, and if I break it I don't care so much, and it's got a good battery life as well. And then a couple more bandages. A cash card as I mentioned, some KT tape, a couple of blisters, compass which we have to have as well, and bivvy bag as well, part of the mandatory kit, and it's got a whistle on as well as the pack, and yeah, pretty much it.
So there you are, a sneak peek into Jon's kit. Are you, Andrea, as geeky as I am about what you carry in your race pack?
No, not geeky at all.
Oh no?
The back of my race pack has stayed intact, unopened so far, last 3 days. I haven't even put my waterproof on yet.
Right.
So I've just been in t-shirt the whole time. But the front pockets, that's where I've got all the nutrition, the bars, the gels, the chews. So I kind of make sure I know what's where.
So Andrea Howard, I haven't introduced you properly. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Race. Twice on the event team, second time racing it. Last year, you didn't quite get that big dragon, did you?
I've got a little baby dragon, so I've come back to get a mummy for my baby.
And how are you finding it?
Loving it. I love it. It feels like a very different race to last year, especially the first day when we had so much rain and it was so wet because of course it was so hot last year.
And how did you feel when you woke up this morning? Because today could have potentially been your crutch day.
Yeah, I was remembering climbing up Cadair Idris and Robin, who was my tent mate, coming back past me as I was vomiting in the field. And I was so glad to get to the top, down into the water point, because last year that's where it all fell apart.
I mentioned in a link earlier in the programme that the third day you do tend to hear lots of people struggling with stomach issues, and possibly, like we saw with Jon, his kit, is you have to be pretty on top of your personal admin, don't you?
Yeah, so we're about to head off to bed really soon. Everybody's in the tent with their beds made, everything's organised, nothing's strewn everywhere, just because we want it to go smoothly and slickly. And in the morning we run through a certain routine to make sure we get everything done to be out on time.
Andrea, one thing I need to ask is that the Dragon's Back race does it well. We see a good representation of women. We'd like to see more, of course. We still need to get more women competing, don't we? We need to show them that we actually can do these stuff and we can do them well.
Definitely. And I think even a normal, average woman can do this because we're so strong, so resilient. We deal with so many tough things in our life. It's the mental headspace that you need rather than long legs or, big muscles.
I've made programs scientifically on ultra events. We can compete alongside men and we can do really well as well. So, yeah. And what is it that makes you want to come back? Why didn't you last year kind of go, do you know what, I've got the little dragon, that's it? What made you want to come back? What's so special about this race?
Well, at the time I was quite proud of how I'd recovered from the infection that I'd had and did manage days 4, 5, 6 in full. But there was just that little gap in the middle. So I wanted an unbroken line from north to south. And I enjoyed the journey so much that I thought I'll come and do it again. But actually it's been really quite different with different weather conditions. And so it's been good to see it all again.
What's your plan of attack for the rest of the week now?
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to the castle, but the next 2 days also, there's so much to see. Going under those wind turbines, and the Elan Valley is just such wide open spaces, it's just wonderful. So few people, and day 5 is amazing. Hope we get good views for day 5.
And of course there'll be a warm welcome to you in Cardiff. Andrea, thank you very much, and I wish you all the very best of luck.
Thank you, Lowri.
Unfinished business tends to be a huge motivation in people returning to the Dragon's Back race. And Andy Barnes, just like Andrea earlier, is another person who's going to smash it this year. I
Fingers
know it.
crossed.
You are. What happened back in, was it 2021?
2021, it was the first year they did the 6-day course. Unfortunately, by the end of day 5, I had tendonitis in my ankles. I could not pick my feet up anymore. So
you got into...
I got into the camp
penultimate
about 20 minutes after the cut-off time, feeling absolutely broken. It was, bitter pill to swallow, that one.
But the thing is, because you've been in such a dark place, because you now have experienced how hurtful that feeling is, you're not going to feel like that again, are you?
Fingers crossed, no. Knowing how much pain I was in going over the fans and the Brecon Beacons last time, I'm really hoping to avoid that.
So is the motivation greater? And has has the motivation been greater during training as well?
Yeah. Training's been a bit mixed this year. I was originally entered to the race last year, but me and my wife had twins at the end of June.
Congratulations.
So there was no way I was coming away for a week's running last year. So I deferred to this year. Very supportive wife back home has let me out training at the weekends. So.
We wouldn't be doing a lot of these things without the support of people behind us, that's for certain. So, are you a runner who runs by heart rate, by splits, or just by feel?
Just by the feel, mostly. I'm kind of keeping half an eye on the times this time, just out of the consistency point of view. Try to take it a bit easier on the first 2 days, because I know I'd get carried away in that terrain otherwise. Seems to be going well so far, but I'm not competing, I'm here to complete.
Andy, many congratulations.
Thanks.
And on coming so far. about 50% have already dropped out of the hatchling, so you're doing really well. And I'm wishing you all the very best in getting into Cardiff Castle.
Fingers crossed.
I personally am looking forward to seeing you get that dragon.
Yeah, get to the end of day 5 first. That's all I'm focusing on now.
And it is step by step, day by day. It doesn't matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
It's all about breaking it down into a shorter thing. So let's cope with tomorrow then, first of all. 4th day. Good luck tomorrow.
Get through the day.
We've got 50 minutes before the cut-off at 10 p.m. Behind the camera, I can see a zigzag of head torches coming off the mountain, making their way towards us. And I want to shout at each one of those runners, come on, you can make it. Keep moving those legs, because day 4 is incredible. Well done, guys, well done. Yeah, it's an amazing day. Cwmelan, finishing in Llanymddyfri. It's got some incredible views over the mountains with some long road sections between those peaks. It's a 69-kilometre adventure. See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Ymunwch gyda ni pryd nos da i chi gyd.